All right, so last topic of the week here. I want to touch a little bit more on something I've talked about the last couple weeks, and that is Vince McMahon being involved in the booking once again of Monday Night Raw. So this past week, it was said that once again, Vince McMahon stepped in and made some last-minute changes to the Monday Night Raw card, most notably canceling Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge, and what is being perceived, though, on another solid Monday Night Raw. I think most people agree that that was another good. We've had two consecutively good Monday Night Raws building to Money in the Bank. Now, I know that TripleH is doing his best right now to position the World Heavyweight Championship as the workhorse title in WWE. And he wants Seth Rollins to be viewed as a fighting champion, and he wants the optics to be Seth Rollins defending that title as frequently as possible, which is a suggestion, honestly, that I made a couple weeks ago when the title was first announced, that the only way to get this title over was it needs to be put in everybody's face and make it seem like it's a big deal. Sending it to NXT, I think that works. Having open challenges, I think that works. But I think that we have to acknowledge that sometimes when you do this, it can lead to what I call nonsensical booking. A title should never be defended just for the sake of the title being defended, right? The title being defended 3 times in a matter of 2 weeks, once on Monday Night Raw, once on NXT, and then the following week at Money in the Bank. When you really think about it, it absolutely makes no sense from a booking standpoint, because any logical wrestling fan has to understand that there is zero chance someone like Seth Rollins is not going to actually be the champion when Money in the Bank rolls around against Finn Balor. They're not going to promote that match for the last 3 or 4 weeks for it to somehow fall apart and that match to be Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor or whatever convoluted person beats. It's not happening, right? So any match that takes place before Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, as logical wrestling fans, we have to know that is just a time holder. That is just a main event filling space until we get to the proper World Heavyweight Championship match at Money in the Bank. So I like what Vince McMahon did here. I like Vince McMahon stepping in and going, we have an opportunity. Let's take Finn Balor and let's have him stop the open challenge. This does a couple of things, right? It allows Seth Rollins the freedom to not have to be oversaturated and appear all the time, but the title still seems important on that Monday. It still allows him to claim to be a fighting champion. It creates a new level of intensity in this story that wasn't there before. All of a sudden, it looks like Finn Balor has hit a new level of anger that's the type of anger that could win him the World Heavyweight Championship. Finn Balor looks like a more believable suitor for that title after his attack on Monday Night Raw. Number 2, what it does is it made the NXT match just seem a little more feasible. It seemed like Seth Rollins showing up injured made him a little more vulnerable to Braun Breaker, which in turn made for, I think 90% of people knew that Seth Rollins wasn't going to lose that match, but there's a part of that there's a part of you that goes, injured, what if? What if he does? Right? But once again, I don't see the IWC running around waving the Vince McMahon flag and screaming about positive changes. When he fucks up Monday Night Raw, everybody's willing to scream, "Oh dear God, Vince is involved again." But when he takes a step in the right direction, it goes completely unnoticed and unrecognized. Now, while I'm sitting here giving out knowledge on the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm going to drop a hot take. I would absolutely love at Money in the Bank for Finn Balor to walk out as the new World Heavyweight Champion. I love the idea of the World Heavyweight title having shorter reigns, especially while Roman Reigns continues his epic 1,000+ days. I like the idea of the heavyweight championship bouncing around a little bit, because in other sports, titles tend to bounce around. You in UFC, you can have titles bounce around every 3 months. It's not unheard of. It's not uncommon. So I like the idea of getting that belt on as many people as possible, start getting that belt to have some lineage, some history. And I think Finn Balor is a proper second person to hold that belt, especially given his history with Seth Rollins. I think that Finn Balor winning the World Heavyweight Championship could lead to a compelling long-term story between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The type of story that we look for that we don't get anymore. The Stone Cold and Rock type stories, not on that level, but you know what I mean. It's something, these two, they have enough history that we could build something going forward. And a Finn Balor win would mean a lot. I also like the optics of Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley holding the title together. I like seeing both of those belts right next to each other, at least for the next couple of months. I also like the idea that at some point the Judgment Day implodes and we get a triple threat match between Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Those are all ideas that I think are compelling and they can push forward and they can all circle back to at WrestleMania 40, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. That's a good 6 or 7 months of booking that you can get out of the store. You can juice this to the last drop. I'm interested to see what is the appropriate amount of time for Seth Rollins to hold the World Heavyweight Championship. How long does he have to hold it before we go, okay, that's justified. Now it's time that he can drop the belt. Has it been long enough? Would we be ready for Seth Rollins to drop? Because Seth Rollins is a guy that doesn't really need the title to feel important. He got to be the first. He got the rub. He got the rocket strapped to his back from being the first champion. But he also can be a part of this story, especially with someone like Finn Balor without being the champion. If you look right now, the Money in the Bank card is shaping up nicely. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at what we're going to see next week. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. That has potential to be very good. The Civil War match between the Usos and Roman Reigns, that definitely has the potential to be a very good match. We have the men's Money in the Bank, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul. I'm in for that. There's 3 guys that I think are worthy of winning in that match. And then there's a guy who's a long shot. You got the women's. What's that? Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Bayley, Io Sky, Trish Stratus. Okay, not mad at that. My money's on Zoe Stark there. Then to top it off, we're going to get some sort of match between Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio, which I'm assuming is just leading towards a rubber match between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. I am assuming that Dominic Mysterio picks up the victory because of Brock Lesnar. That's my guess. That's my prediction if I have to predict for that match. But I'm guessing we get a good crowd in London. The overseas pay-per-views have tended to be exciting. They tend to be, I don't love the 3:00 start time. I don't love the midday premium live events, but the crowds are fun. I think it'll be a fun watch. We'll get a good reaction. I think I think Money in the Bank will be remembered as one of the better premium live events in 2023. And Vince McMahon's a part of it. So I don't get it. I don't get where everybody makes the connection between Vince McMahon fucking everything up. I think, I'm just saying I don't love Vince McMahon, but we have to be fair when we talk about Vince and the good and the bad. But that is all I have for you guys this week. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check out the Discord to meet other cool wrestling fans. Make sure to check out my other channel, The NerdyD Show. It's got a whole new format, a bunch of cool things going on over there. If you haven't already listened to it, it's a life and pop culture podcast. It's fun. Please just go over there and give it a listen. See if you like it. If you like this, you may like that. Other than that, that's all I got. I'm going to ring the final bell.